I hope you like romance, because today we're doing some matchmaking, except we don't get to make the matches. It's gonna be the math that dictates everything. But here's the problem. Henry, Eli, Cornelius, and their wives, Gertrude, Catherine, and Anna, but not necessarily in that order, so we don't know who's married to who. Each of these 6 people purchased at least one animal at a farm auction. Each person spent an exact number of dollars on each animal that was equal to the number of animals he or she purchased. Henry purchased 23 more animals than Catherine, and Eli spent $11 per animal more than Gertrude. Also, each husband spent $63 more than his wife. We need to figure out who was married to whom. We need to make sure we understand all the details here in order to crack this problem. This is a Diophantine equation style problem, which means we're going to end up with an equation and we're only interested in integer solutions. We're not talking about fractions of a dollar because it says that everybody spent an exact number of dollars, and we're not talking about fractions of animals, of course, because, well, you aren't buying half a hog at the farm auction. Alright, let's try to parse some of this information out. The first important thing we need to make sure we understand is this sentence, that each person spent an exact number of dollars on each animal equal to the number of animals he or she purchased. So if Henry bought 7 animals, for example, then he must have spent $7 per animal. And that's going to end up getting squares involved in this problem. More generally, since we don't know how much Henry spent, we could say that Henry spent H dollars each on H animals. So how much money did Henry spend total? Well, H dollars on H animals, that would be H squared dollars total. And we can name and quantify the amount of money each of the other 5 people spent in a similar way. If Eli spent E dollars on E animals, then he spent a total of E squared dollars. So following that logic and notation, we get that Henry spent H squared dollars, Eli spent E squared dollars, Cornelius spent C squared dollars, and so on, because each person spent an exact number of dollars each on that same number of animals. Alright, now that we've started to quantify how much money each person spent total, we can start to write equations that will help us solve the problem. In particular, making sure we get the rest of these details down, we know that Henry purchased 23 more animals than Catherine. So if Henry purchased H animals and Catherine purchased K animals, well, we can say that H is equal to K plus 23. So we will use that eventually. We also know that Eli spent 11 per animal more than Gertrude. Now, the amount spent per animal is equal to the number of animals purchased by an individual, since we know that each person spent an exact number of dollars on each animal equal to the number of animals he or she purchased. So the amount that Eli spends per animal is just E, the number of animals he purchased. So if Eli spent $11 per animal more than Gertrude, then we would just have that E is equal to G plus 11. Similarly for Gertrude, the amount she spent per animal is just G, the number of animals she bought. If she bought 8 animals, then she spent $8 per animal. Finally, the last key detail we're told is that each husband spent $63 more than his wife. Now, we don't know who was married to who, so we can't use specific letters in this equation, but we know that everybody spent X squared or Y squared dollars. And so for a particular husband and wife pair, we could say that the amount the husband spent, which we'll just represent as X squared, must be 63 more than what the wife spent. So X squared minus Y squared must equal 63. The husband spent X squared dollars, like H squared in the case of Henry, and the wife spent Y squared dollars, like G squared in the case of Gertrude, and the difference must be 63. The husband spent 63 more. Now, of course, the key here is that we can factor this into a difference of squares, and that's going to be the key to getting us to the solution and figuring out who is married to who. Let me try out my snazzy new highlighter to highlight this important part. X squared minus Y squared equals 63. Oh yeah, that that is cool. All right, so let's see what we can learn from that equation. X squared minus y squared equals 63. Hopefully you know how to factor a difference of squares like this. It is a classic factorization. We can factor it into x plus y multiplied by x minus y, and this product we know has to equal 63. If that's news to you, then you can just multiply this by this and check that it's true, right? You'd get x times x, which is x squared, and you'd get y times negative y, which is negative y squared. The only other stuff would be x times minus y, which is minus xy, and y times x, which is xy. So the two things would cancel out. We'd just be left with x squared minus y squared. So then the possibilities here for x plus y and x minus y can be assessed by just looking at the factorizations of 63. So what are the factorizations of 63? Well, let's write it out as a product of its prime factors. Of course, 3 goes into 60, so 3 definitely goes into 63. In particular, 3 times 21 is 63, and 21 happens to equal 3 times 7. So this is 3 times 3 times 7, which if we just write this with exponents, is 3 squared times 7. So what are our possible factorizations, x plus y times x minus y? Well, we could have none of these factors, which would be 1, and then that would leave 63 for the other factor. We could have one factor of 3, and then the 3 and the 7, which is 21 in the other factor. We could have two factors of 3 in one factor, which is 9, and 7 in the other factor. And those are all possibilities. Although really we should reverse these orders just to match up with the factorization. Of course, x plus y is greater than x minus y. So we can imagine that all of these are flipped so that the greater number is on the left. And I'll just write them that way over here. So those are our possibilities. Let's label them 1, 2, and 3, and from each of these factorizations, we're going to get a system of equations. Let's take 63 times 1 first. In the 63 times 1 case, we would have that x plus y is equal to 63, and x minus y is equal to 1. So let's write those equations. X plus y equals 63, and x minus y is equal to 1. So then, from the bottom equation, we have that x is equal to 1 plus y, and substituting that into the top equation, we have that 1 plus 2y is equal to 63. Now, in this top equation, we can solve for y. Subtracting 1 gives us 2y equals 62, and so that tells us that y is equal to 31. If y is equal to 31, then of course x must equal 32. So this is one of the possibilities for a husband and wife pair, that the husband bought 32 animals, each for $32, and the wife bought 31 animals, each for $31. Now, we won't be able to figure out who these numbers correspond to, Henry, Cornelius, whoever it is. We don't know yet. We'll have to check out the other factorizations and see how our other restrictions in this problem narrow down the possibilities. So we just investigated this first factorization and found y equals 31, x equals 32. That is a wife and husband pair of animals bought. Let's move on to the second factorization, 21 times 3. In this case, we would have that x plus y is 21 and x minus y is 3. So let's write those equations. X plus y equals 21 and x minus y equals 3. Solving all of these will be pretty similar, so we'll take this second equation to find that x is equal to 3 plus y, and then we can plug that into the top equation, giving us that 3 plus 2y is equal to 21. If 3 plus 2y is equal to 21, well, we can subtract 3 from both sides and get that 2y is equal to 18, and so y is equal to 9. Thus, plugging that into this bottom equation, we have that x is equal to 12. So that's another possibility for a wife and husband pair, is that the husband bought 12 animals at $12 each, and the wife bought 9 animals at $9 each. Finally, we can look at the last possible factorization for 63, which is 9 times times 7. In this case, x plus y would be 9, and x minus y would be 7. So setting up our system of equations, x plus y is equal to 9, and x minus y is equal to 7. If x minus y is equal to 7, then of course x is equal to 7 plus y. Plugging that into the top equation, we would have that 7 plus 2y is equal to 9. Then we could subtract 7 from both sides to find that 2y equals 2, and thus y is equal to 1. Plugging that into the bottom equation, we have that x is equal to 8, and so that's our last possibility for a wife-husband pair, is that the wife spent $1 on one animal, and the husband spent $8 on 8 animals each, so $64 total. So who was married to whom? Well, let's go back to those conditions we had at the beginning of the problem. We know that H must equal K plus 23. Henry bought 23 more animals than Catherine. So we need to look at these possible numbers. Henry could be any of the X numbers because those represent the husbands here. Those are the bigger numbers. So Henry's number has to be one that's 23 more than one of the Y numbers because those are the wife numbers. So which X is 23 bigger than which Y? You may notice that X equals 32 is 23 bigger than y equals 9. Those are the only two values satisfying these conditions. So we must have that Henry, H, is equal to 32, and Catherine, K, is equal to 9. I'll write that here. H is equal to 32, and Catherine, K, is equal to 9. We still don't know who's married to who, but we are narrowing down the possibilities. Since Henry bought 32 animals, for example, we know that he's married to whichever woman bought 31 animals. So let us continue the investigation. We know that Eli spent $11 per animal more than Gertrude. So now we need to look for an X value representing Eli, 11 more than one of the Y values. That would be X equals 12, which is 11 more than Y equals 1. So E, representing the number of animals Eli bought and the price he paid for each one, must be 12, and Gertrude, G, is 11 less than that, which is 1. That, of course, means that Cornelius must be the only X value left, which is 8, and Anna must be the only Y value that's left, that is Y equals 31, and so we have A equals 31. So who married who? Well, these numbers need to satisfy the husband squared minus the wife squared equals 63. We just refer back to our possible pairs. 32 is married to 31. That means Henry is married to Anna. How romantic. And similarly, we have that 12 is married to 9, so Eli is married to Catherine, and thus Cornelius is married to Gertrude. So with just a little bit of info on the hog rates, how many hogs, what's the price per hog, and a couple other little restrictions, we were able to solve the problem and figure out who's married to who. That's a pretty nifty example of a Diophantine equation. This is a problem from this wonderful book, Problem Solving Through Recreational Mathematics. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. It is an absolute blast to read and work through. Let me know in the comments how many hogs you'd buy if you were at a farm auction, and let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to subscribe as well for more of the swankiest math videos on the internet.
From my fate, twisting to escape this. Climbing out of my wrist if you can break it. Breaking in my past, I'm making it up fast. So slow down, give me the time so I can fake it. Erase the tune of words and just how I say shit. And let me speak my poetry to your face. It's not intimate if you ain't listening. Not infinite if you ain't really into it.